21st anniversary of the start of the Iraq War, which is today, former General Mark Milley, he took the stand for his first hearing as a civilian to answer questions on how badly they botched the Afghanistan withdrawal. Now, Milley made it seem like he was warning that this was bad from the get-go.
My analysis, my personal analysis, was that an accelerated withdrawal would likely lead to the general collapse of the Afghan security forces and the Afghan government, resulting in a large-scale civil war reminiscent of the 1990s or a complete Taliban takeover. In November 2020, DOD received orders from the White House to reduce troop levels, was that we needed to maintain a minimum force of 2,500 troops on the ground. It was only a matter of when, not if, the Afghan government would collapse and the Taliban would take control. And it was my view that absent those conditions, I was not in favor of a unilateral withdrawal of U.S. forces because of my assessment of the associated costs and risks.
Well, if that was really how you felt, you should have fought tooth and nail for the sake of your troops. You should have thrown your stars on the president's desk. If you really felt the way that you testified today, but you didn't. You, General Milley, your career was more important than your soldiers' lives. It is ridiculous. This is up and down the chain of command in this. Folks, this issue is near and dear to my heart. I was never in Afghanistan, but I was in Iraq twice, which had a similar outcome. I've had more friends than I would care to admit killed in both countries. Some right next to me in Iraq. And some the result of really bad policy just like this.
He was a sniper at Abbey Gate and testified to us that he had the suicide bomber in his sights. That was identified on the Be on the Lookout. He sent the sniper photos and other related documents to his commanding officer for permission to engage the suicide bomber. Yet that warning was ignored.
And because of that, we added 13 more white markers to the hills of Arlington. And who was fired? Who lost their pension? No one. We just got this stupid hearing where they credit their service. I mean, spare me.
I want to also recognize the 2,461 American military personnel who gave their life in Afghanistan for our country.
Gee, I'm sure that really comforts the mother raising kids with no father because of this bad policy. Then they always turn and try to make this about, oh, let's do lessons learned so it doesn't happen again. Well, that same Representative Meeks noted this.
So I look forward to hearing how the Defense Department, similar to the states Afghanistan's AAR, has taken efforts to assess and learn from our withdrawal so that we do not repeat those mistakes in the future.
Yeah, I would love that too. But you know what? Those are pretty hollow words because this exact same thing happened in Iraq, where a friend of mine in my platoon was killed because of policy failures and rules of engagement just like this. And we didn't learn from that. And I would love to sit across the table from any of these people if they want to try to explain this away. I was there. They never learn anything. It's all lip service and political jargon. You want proof? Guess who led the Iraq withdrawal? It was Lloyd Austin. He screwed that up. He got people killed. Killed. People died. His withdrawal plan resulted in the rise of ISIS, killed who knows how many more. Then he got promoted as Secretary of Defense. Biden noted that this failure was the reason he was chosen. He said, quote, in an Atlantic article, General Austin got the job done, played a crucial role in bringing 150,000 American troops home from the theater of war. Well, how'd that turn out? Getting out before the next election was more important to these people and to Obama than getting everyone home alive, just like Afghanistan. And we learned nothing from it, nothing. And we repeated it again. These people should be in jail. Instead, you got the president checking his watch when bodies come home in boxes. Some people downplay this. They say, well, Carl, this shouldn't be front page. It damn well should be front page news. This is the cost of electing bad politicians. This happens on both sides of the aisle, too. This is not a partisan issue. And those of us who did come home after these monumental failures, I mean, catastrophic failures, come on over, Milley. Take a walk in our shoes. You know how hard it is to see what you fought for going right back to the people you just fought against? Losing your friends after killing people? Most of these suits in this hearing don't understand the gravity of their decisions. We're just chess pieces on a board to them. You want a reality check? I was 24 years old when I killed my first person over there. Because someone like Milley or Lloyd Austin said so. Chess pieces. Thousands of us, we carry around weight. You don't have any idea what it's like to see that? We carry that weight around every day just so we can hand these countries right back to the same damn terrorists. This is Milley's response to that.
To all the veterans of Afghanistan, hold your heads high, and I know there are several in the room today. Know that you did your duty. Each of you did what your country asked of you under extreme circumstances.
Thanks. Hard pass on you defining my duty to this country. You knew Afghanistan withdrawal and this one was a complete disaster. You knew it was bad. Every intel group, every soldier, every contractor, everything warned you, and you did it anyway. No, just carrying out. Shut up. You should have resigned. Then this partisan joke just spit on the graves that, trying to blame this all on Trump. How dare you?
Former President Donald Trump's Doha deal empowered the Taliban at the expense of the Afghan government. The Trump administration's commitment to facilitate the release of Taliban prisoners in Afghan and the Afghan government, that they were there in their custody, and initiated significant unilateral U.S. troop drawdowns, placed the Taliban in the strongest position since the United States first arrived in Afghanistan 20 years earlier.
Well, that kind of makes my case. If you knew all that and you were that concerned, why did you pull out? You can't put this on Trump's feet. There were metrics to be met that these people in the Biden administration ignored. Biden could have actually listened to experts on the ground. But instead, you ended the war and brought the troops home. That was your re-election campaign, right, Biden? I mean, tell me what we came home to. Let me tell you. I have a dozen friends who came home and committed suicide. I have another dozen suffering from addictions and problems coping with modern society with what we saw over there. And for what? So you could rehire 8,000 terrible employees at the VA that aren't helping any of us actual veterans? So you can reallocate that money for illegals away from us? I understand this might not be table talk for some of you at home. I mean, bear with me on this, but some people thought this was heavy for TV. You know what? I'll tell that to a family with an empty seat at their kitchen table. Everyone should hear this.
It remains my opinion that if there is culpability in this attack, it lies in policy decisions that created the environment of August 2021 in Kabul. Culpability and responsibility do not lie with the troops on the ground, who perform magnificently. It does not lie with the platoon, company, or battalion commanders, or the flag officers who oversaw operations on the ground in Kabul. The simple fact is this: on the battlefield, even with good planning, tremendous execution by brave people on the ground, the enemy sometimes has success. To ignore this fact is to ignore the fundamental reality of the battlefield. If there's fault, it lies in a policy decision that placed the joint force in this situation and exposed the force over time to the possibility of these kinds of attacks.
Policy decisions, not tactical ones. That's why I'm so passionate about elections, because this policy is the real cost of who a country votes for. Look, I could have summed this whole stupid hearing up in an email. Biden pulled out of Afghanistan with not a single concern of the consequences. Everything else in this hearing was fluff. It was political circle speak to try to make everybody feel better while they carefully thanked grieving family. You can save it. It didn't have to be this way. We have the ability to destroy the Taliban. We had it then, we have it now, and we didn't do it. We didn't lack the ability to win that war. We just declared victory and went home. But the enemy got a say. And we lost because we lacked the political willpower to finish the fight. Again, who was fired? Who lost their pension? No one. Instead, we got this stupid hearing.